Hello, everybody. Sorry for that delay. I do not know where Billy and Alex are right now. So it's just me at the minute. So we'll have a look in the comments. We'll have a bit of a chat about transfers until Alex gets his arse on here. I know Billy and Alex have done of course, the watch along this afternoon and did a brilliant job with that. Of course, England progressing to the semi-finals of the European Championships, which is fantastic news. A tale of two halves, really, in that game. 1 minute, Portugal looked like they were going to get back in the game in the second half, but it didn't happen. And Anthony Gordon, once again, on the score sheet with a lovely goal. And, so they progress into the semi-finals, and we will, of course, have the watch-along right here on the Toon Review. First of all, though, a massive thank you to everybody. We have, surpassed 21,000 subscribers now. It doesn't seem 2 minutes since we were celebrating 15, 16, 17. We're up to 20. We're 21 now. In fact, we're pretty much well over 21,000 now. So it is growing massively by the day. And that is with the help of you guys. Because as I've said many times, without you guys, this channel is nothing. So I really appreciate that. To get to 21K is incredible feeling for a guy who started this channel sitting in a kitchen with his iPhone to where it is now with a fantastic team behind me. It is awesome. So thank you very, very much for that. Now let's have a look at some of the comments. I know there's a lot of comments came in before 7:30, before the show started. But we'll have a look. Everybody saying hello to everybody. JB, good evening. Jal, good evening. Nick, good evening. Tom, I know you've already asked who the guest is next week. We do have one booked in, and that is Charlie Bennett, the journalist. He'll be coming on Wednesday night for a little chat about Newcastle United. Of course, he's a big Newcastle fan as well. So we'll be talking to Charlie about the transfer window and about this coming season and where he thinks Newcastle United may end up. I do want to get some more guests on, of course. So we will do that. I'm sure there's a few fellow YouTubers who will come on. Big shout out to Lee, of course, from Newcastle Fans TV. He did a video yesterday, which was a really good video, just a little bit different, just having a conversation about which other channels that he gets on with, and he gave a shout out to a few channels, including this one. So really thank you, Lee. That was very kind of you, mate. Well, we do have one guy with us, and it's the main man, Stato. Good evening to you.
How are we doing?
I'm all right. Any sign of Billy? You know where he's disappeared to after the watch along?
I think he was going for some dinner and to get changed real quick, so I'm sure he'll be around sharpish.
Yeah, it's all right. Good work on the watch along, by the way. Very interesting game, to say the least. England certainly hanging on in the second half, but Anthony Gordon's goal good enough to put them into the semi-finals, which we will have, of course, the watch along, as I've just explained to all the viewers. So looking forward to that one. I believe that's on Wednesday as well. We do have Charlie Bennett, of course, coming on Wednesday, so we'll see how that works out. Good evening to Nick Thornton. Predator, good evening. Scott is really happy how this pod is going over the last 18 months. It's been unreal. Thank you, mate. Yeah, there you go, Tom. I've just explained who it will be. Alex is going a little bit invisible there, but never mind.
For some reason, my Doom badge has gone funny, so I was adjusting settings.
Indeed. Jason says, Dominic Szoboszlai, Liverpool sign RB Leipzig midfielder for 60 million. Couldn't happen, Alex. I'm not sure what he means by that.
Well, they've triggered the release clause and paid it in full, so yeah, 70 million euros, and 70 million euros is more than 60 million pounds.
Absolutely.
So, I don't know whether to be offended by that. It sounded a bit. It might have just been the way you typed it, but I don't. That sounded.
Well, I don't know. I think he's saying it. I mean, did you say it wouldn't happen at one stage? Liverpool wouldn't pay it. I don't know. I don't think you did.
I think it was more the fact that they were in for Kone, Thuram, McAllister. They were in for a bunch of other different kinds of midfielders, and I just didn't see it happening with McAllister. They've obviously not gone for Thuram and Kone yet, or at all. I'm not sure which.
Well, according to the Liverpool fans who've commented on my Daily News video yesterday, they are convinced Thuram's going to sign for them, but I don't know where they're getting the money from.
I feel like that is a perfect window for Liverpool.
Absolutely.
Two brilliant offensive midfielders, and then Thuram in the middle as well. that is perfectly rebuilt their midfield. I mean, I still think they're lacking somebody, even if they do those 3 transfers, they're lacking somebody that can support Fabinho and take over that role.
Yeah.
It would be an incredible window for Liverpool.
Indeed.
But as we've said in many transfer shows, there's plenty of fish in the sea. There's a lot of decent midfielders and a lot of decent players going around this window.
The old fish in the sea. Anyway, we've got a £5 super chat in from Up the A1. Thank you, guys. Hope the family's well. £5 super chat, reaching 21k onwards and upwards. Well, would you believe it, Alex, if I told you we were at almost just a couple away from 21,100 already? It's amazing.
It's amazing support from you guys.
Yeah, it is. Ian Fleming, thank you for your £5 super chat. Well done, TTR family, on getting to 21k. Well deserved. Thank you very much. It's all to do with you guys, though. But if you do enjoy tonight's show, guys, as usual, hit the thumbs up button for us. And if you're new and like what you see, why not become part of this amazing community by hitting the subscription button? It is free to do so, and also the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or we upload any videos. You can become a member of the Toon Review if you do so wish by hitting the join button just underneath. That will make you a member of the channel with a contribution each month to help the channel along, and also into the prize draws for the members. But you can donate to the channel as we're live by hitting this $sign at the bottom of the live comments, as 2 people have already done so tonight, and that will take you through to a payment method. So thank you very, very much for that. Geordie Lad, good evening. Ian Skinner, Rachel, good evening. John just says, oh, Anthony Gordon. Really good finish from Anthony Gordon, Alex. Mike's off, mate.
Few real good shots from him in that game. For those of you who didn't watch it, it does look like he's come on in leaps and bounds. His decision making, his attitude, his work rate. He looked like one of the leaders of that team, the one always willing to work hard. And by the end of the game, in the final 15 seconds, he had fully gone cramp. Like he was going to need to come off.
Well, he went down at the end like he was dying, didn't he?
But there was another moment, literally sort of in sort of 10 seconds before the end. Sorry, I think people are calling me. Go away. No.
Do they not know you're live, Alex?
Obviously not. But his whole performance, the maturity of a centre forward, he was so patient. He understood he wasn't going to see the ball as often, but he still was in the right place at the right time. He never got frustrated with quite poor service for large parts of it, although I think Morgan Gibbs-White was superb. And then there were moments where Gordon recognised danger, dropped back into midfield on a couple of occasions. Looked far more well-rounded. He looks like he's growing a lot as a player. He's learned a lot. He was brilliant in the press. This is what we tried to explain to everybody. When he came to us in January, he looked very raw. He's come out and said he wasn't up to the standard. He knows that, but he's got the key traits we're looking for a wide forward for us, and possibly even a centre forward if he keeps playing like this. I think it's exciting for him. I'm excited to see what he can do in pre-season.
Is he giving Eddie Howe a bit of a little kick there, saying, I can play up there if I'm needed, Eddie? You know what I mean? So if we don't necessarily, would Eddie Howe still look for a forward, or would he think, hang on a minute, he's playing up top, he's looking really good, he certainly knows where the goal is. His goals have been brilliant. Is it a possibility that Eddie could use him there?
Potentially. There were moments last season where Maxi went up top for Eddie Howe in phases and in transitions and certain late periods of the game where just it was necessary because of certain substitutions had already happened. And I think Gordon's one of those players where he's got a good enough attack. There are certain players where they're either left-sided or right-sided or whatever, and you move them slightly and they just can't play football anymore. It's just, I don't know why. It's just certain players are like that. Yeah. Gordon is one of those players where he looks a bit more comfortable wherever he goes, although he struggled a little bit on certain phases back into the last season. But I think he's going to turn out to be quite a useful, versatile forward who's very energetic. And he's very young. He's still like 22 years old. There's no need for him to be like. I think he's fine, and he knows he's not going to be starting ahead of somebody like Isak straight away. Isak is incredible. He's going to have to develop. It's just what it is.
But if he can learn things from the likes of Isak, then under Eddie Howe's guidance as well, I mean, that's just going to be tremendous. If we can get that little bit extra out of Anthony Gordon to be in that position where, if needed, he can go up front. I mean, it's got to be a plus point, hasn't it? So now there's news on Szoboszlai has come out, Alex, saying that Newcastle, he was never given the choice to sign for Newcastle because they didn't put in for him for the release clause. They didn't, and there was nothing there. There was no decision for him to make.
I mean, we'll never know the truth, but there were many, many reports suggesting that we were trying to negotiate the price down a little bit away from that release clause so we could structure the deal. And we never got to that point where that was accepted by Leipzig, so we could never really speak to the player properly. It is what it is. So
it's just one of them that we'll never, ever find out about, to be honest. It's just one of those unfortunate things. But as Alex has already stated, there is plenty fish in the sea. And talking about the sea, here is Billy Bob. Good evening, Billy.
Oh,
Alex, you did it again.
I don't know how to share it without it forcing itself onto the screen anymore. Normally it goes into the background.
Yes, indeed. Great work on the watch along before, Billy lad. Really enjoyed it. It was a bit of a squeaky bum time second half, but brilliant commentary as usual. So well done, buddy. Geordie boy, thank you for your £5 super chat. Gordon 1, Portugal 0. Great stuff. Congrats on the 21k. Chippers, thank you for your £10 super chat. He says, why is it fans are saying he chose this club over us regarding players? Last time I checked, we haven't bid for them to have a chance of signing them, rant over. Well, you're right, Chippers. For once in your life, you are right. There was no official bid from Newcastle United for Szoboszlai or Maddison. We know that the bid for Maddison before in previous windows, not this time around. So we haven't missed out on them. And I'm seeing a lot
of in for them to a point.
To a point, yeah, we scouted them.
We've scouted them. We've bidded for one of them. Like, it's very obvious.
Yeah, but we didn't bid this time around in the summer. So technically, we haven't missed out on them if we haven't bid on them. It'll be different this time around if we do bid on a player and he goes elsewhere. Then fair enough, we've missed out on him. But I'm seeing a lot of negativity from Newcastle fans panicking already about the fact that the owners haven't got a clue what they're doing. I mean, how many times have we heard that, Billy, in the last 2 transfer windows, saying that the owners haven't got a clue what they're doing, they don't understand football, when clearly they've got the right staff in to do this job?
Well, yeah, if we'd have gone out and paid a £60 million fee up front and put us in FFP trouble, what would the fans be saying then? The owners don't know what they're doing. So, the damn they do, damn they don't. At the end of the day, we couldn't afford to pay £60 million up front with our FFP ceiling being so low. And Liverpool, of course, with their past history, have got a higher FFP ceiling. That's all there is to it, basically. We'd have probably done a deal for maybe more money, as long as we could have installed it over 4 or 5 payments. Might have paid 65, 70 million for them, but over 5 payments, 4 payments, whatever. So, 60 million in one foul swoop. Just can't do it with our FFP ceiling. And that's all down to the previous owner, isn't it?
No. I mean, look, I said on my Daily News the other day, I was pissed off we didn't get Szoboszlai. And the reason I said I was pissed off was because I know how good this player is. I've seen him a few times, very good player, and thought he would do a wonderful job for Newcastle. It wasn't meant to come across as I'm pissed off with a transfer window, because I 100% trust in these guys, trust in who they're looking at. They'll not be panicking. Our chairman was interviewed the other day, and you have to just trust in what he's saying. He wants Newcastle to be number 1, so therefore they will. PIF do not want at any stage to be second best. And I think a lot of fans need to realise that there's a long way to go in the transfer window yet. I think people are getting confused just because pre-season kicks off in a couple of weeks' time. I think they're confusing that with trying to get players in the door. Yes, it would be handy to get them in and ready to go for pre-season. That's not always going to be the case, though, unfortunately. Things take time. And the transfer window doesn't shut till the end of August. We've got a long time yet of this window. And it just don't panic. Ancient Samumu says, what do you make of the cricket, Billy? Is that not right what Australia did? Well, judging by Billy's tweets, I don't think he's happy with Australia. But we're not going to talk about cricket on here. Otherwise, I will fall asleep. Indigo figure was a quick turnaround from the watch along. How is Alex's dog? A few comments about your dog.
It's because she kept doing little mini howling, like little mini howl growls because she wanted to go for a walk. So yeah, she's fine. She's been out.
Yeah, she's. But
it meant I couldn't eat my dinner, so I'm quietly doing it off camera.
Yes, well, I kind of noticed that while you're ducking your head down, Alex. I mean, it would. That's the only reason Alex is putting his head down that far. By the way, off the cuff says, "Hi lads, I'm becoming addicted to this channel. Great work, thank you very much." Kath, good evening. Hope you're well, Kath. Hello, Paul and Stato now. Well, and Billy now, of course. I watched Lee yesterday. Very different, but really good. Yeah, guys, I don't know whether you saw Lee from Newcastle Fans TV. He did a bit of a different video yesterday talking about all the YouTube channels that they get along with and who are good people and things like that. And he gave himself in the Toon Review were one of those channels. So it was great of Lee to do so. I am going to message Lee to try and get him on here actually for another guest, of course. We have already one booked in for Wednesday. As I said, Charlie Bennett's coming on. But we'll rearrange that. We'll sort of arrange that around the watch along, I think, because that's when the semi-final is as well. So we want to see that as well. Is it early kickoff? Is it? Oh, good. Good evening, Paul and Stato and Billy. Now, congratulations on hitting 21. Thank you. Evening, Phil. Evening, John. Arani Granny says, me and Paul are like a comedy duo. I am Rod Hull and he is Emu. Well, thank you, Arani Granny. I'll take that as a compliment. Tenacious G says, there was no way we were going to sign Schlob. I didn't realize he had a massive boner for Gerrard. Well, yes, obviously he's a big fan of Liverpool. It's quite obviously. Yes, Alex, I will be doing that. Just patience, my man, patience. Craig says, I fancy we go back for Barrera, but a bit like we did with Isak. Robert says, evening, everyone. We will take another 2 players or not. Any news? Well, there's no news as it stands at the moment. So, but I think things will quicken up. Of course, not everybody's windows are open yet, so there's a little bit of to and fro. And I know, mentioned França before in the Daily News video. Theirs doesn't open until the 14th of July. So, we just got to take our time. Dave, good evening to you. Thank you very much. Klopp and Arteta have also complained about our green kit, saying it will make it harder to play against us. Well, hang on a minute. Yeah, but what's Klopp on about? His is green and white. Honestly, pathetic again from the big-toothed mother. Anyway, Fahad says, why are we so slow in Windows? Not happy.
We got Tonali through in like week 1. Well, week and a half. Like a 70 mil signing who is probably going to end up being the Italy captain at some point in his career.
Absolutely.
That's massive. I mean, some of the other targets we couldn't get. I mean,
there's no need to panic, guys. That's the main thing. There is no need to panic on all of this. Rachel says, Fahad, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. Exactly. Tony, good evening to you. David says, congrats on 21K. See Chelsea still giving 8-year contracts. Kath says, I heard Thuram had signed for Inter on a free. That's the other one. That's his brother.
Marcus Thuram.
We were interested in Kefram.
So obviously Lukaku's gone back to Chelsea, so they needed a striker. And AC Milan also in the mud. Their fans. I've started like watching a couple of their YouTubers because they're just crying at the moment, and it's hilarious. They've lost Maldini, and they've obviously lost out on Tonali going, and now they were trying to get Thuram to lead the line. And he's gone to Inter instead, who is literally their direct rival. So AC Milan fans are in tears at the moment. It's very funny.
Absolutely. Barry says, evening, lads. Well done, Billy and Alex, for a great watch-along. Fahad says, not a single deal confirmed by the club. Not yet, Fahad.
Well, Minte was confirmed by the club.
Minte, yeah.
Tonali's been away at a tournament.
Yeah. See, Fahad, this is what I mean. Just chill. Just...
Fahad, Google glass half empty, glass half full. Okay, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, just be patient. Listen, like I said the other day, let's wait till the end of the transfer window before we start complaining about things, because I can pretty much think that by the end of the transfer window, we'll all be sitting here saying, "Well, we can't wait for this season to get started. We've signed some fabulous players, so let's just take a pill and chill," as they say. Kieran says, I made the Rooney and Gordon comparisons on the watch-along. Could Gordon be that number 10 that we need, or should we put him on the right?
Play him wherever you want. You can play in any position in the front three, in my opinion. You can play him as he's played as a striker for England today. He was outstanding.
I don't think he's a 10. I don't think he should be playing behind the striker. I don't think he's got those intricate passes, and that's not his game. Not at all.
He looks like a very, very accomplished finisher. I'll give him that. So he can play a striker role by all means, but you're right, not a number 10. Fahad says, all hearsay in the media. So if we are expecting top 4, it doesn't seem the ideal window. Sorry, but this is a sad fact.
The window's not over, Fahad. Stop.
With 3 weeks in. There's another 6 weeks, 7 weeks to go.
July the 1st was so when contracts typically expire. Yesterday, and this is a weekend. It's not even it's not working days. So I would expect there to be a lot of movement for even more clubs this week. Waiting for the Tonali announcement as well. We've got.
He goes on to say, "Are you 100% sure without the club confirming the Tonali deal?"
I mean, Anthony Gordon was interviewed about Tonali, and Anthony Gordon was talking about Tonali. So it's 99% confirmed.
He wouldn't make an ass of himself like that if it wasn't
Gordon
confirmed.
wouldn't sit there talking about his new teammate on an interview if it wasn't his new teammate.
Yep. Doug from the Dugout channel, thank you for your £2 super chat, matey. Very kind. Big friend of the channel is Doug. Go and check his channel out, the Dugout Football channel. Congratulations on 21k, Paul, Alex, and Billy. Peter Bjordford, or Bodjeford. How do you say that, Billy, again?
Berdefjord.
Berdefjord, thank you very much. 27 Swedish krona, thank you very much. Gordon got man of the match in the under-21 game. Yes, he did. And Misty Pallister, thank you for your $5 super chat. Love the channel. We went to a game 5 years ago. It was awesome. Well, hopefully you'll get across again and celebrate some more fantastic days at St. James's Park. Faramir, good evening to you. He says, I think we should go for Freshneda rather than Livramento if we believe the rumours. We've done Freshneda on a transfer show, haven't we?
We have, yeah. We've done both. And there's nothing wrong with Livramento. I think they're both brilliant fullbacks. It's just price and availability.
Yeah. David says, Milan is listed on the stock exchange, so I think delays till Monday when Milan can announce. That's interesting, actually, because it goes both ways, doesn't it? So, obviously Newcastle have an agreement with Milan as to when this deal is going to be announced.
Didn't we have the same issue with Lille as well?
I believe we did. Yes, with Botman. Because it was around the same time, remember? And it was because their financial year was a little bit different and things like that. So it could be. It's a good point, David, actually. It's a very, very good point. Julie J says, and Tonali also needs a break. Also, the international transfer window opened yesterday. França is still on for the 14th of July when their window opens. Indeed. David says, lots of time left in the window. We don't know what's going on in the background. Liverpool sites and media keep talking about us being beaten to Madison and Szoboszlai, but we never bid. Loads of time left. Absolutely. Yeah, let's get a bit more positive here, because you know what it is. There's a lot of positivity. We're in the Champions League. It's going to be absolutely incredible, no matter whether we sign anybody else or not. Let's just, there's a long way to go in the window.
I'm still angry with Liverpool at the moment, though.
Well,
purely just because they say, the ceiling of Newcastle, we cannot compete with these clubs. You've spent 100 mil straight away. You spent 100 mil on Darwin Nunez on one player the other window. Yeah, the window's just opened. Boom, you've dropped 100 mil already. Stop pretending like you don't have the spending power.
Well,
it's just stupid.
Klopp's an arse.
It's not true.
He is an arse, exactly. I mean, they've spent millions. Julie thinks, she suspects that we're lining up for someone else. We have to. Greetings from California. Thank you, Michael. Definitely need a left back and right winger. My guess is we can get both for the £60 million we were going to pay for Szoboszlai. Not a bad shout. Not a bad shout. JB says, little doubt we verbally gave a figure to Leipzig. Yeah, because they were expecting nobody to come in for the release clause, which ended on Friday, of course. Liverpool paid it before it ended. Simple as that. We bid for him, was just not accepted since we offered too little. We didn't put any bids in. We didn't. Not this summer window, we didn't.
I think we inquired about
Yeah,
what
there's
the
a
price
difference.
might
Yeah,
be.
of course there is. Because I know that they've been talking with Leipzig to see what they could do if that release clause wasn't triggered. Then obviously negotiations could start with the club. But Liverpool said, no, we're going to pay it. And they're too late. So it's just what happens in football. Ryan, good evening to you over in Canada. He says, I wish journalists would stop writing articles saying we're interested in their player with an alarm emoji. I'm interested in Dua Lipa. Is anyone going to write an article of that? No, because it's stupid. Well, at least we know who your favorite singer is, Ryan, Dua Lipa. God says there are some fans who actually said we are one season wonder and that we won't be able to repeat our success. I mean, how could you call yourself a fan of Newcastle talking like that? It's pathetic. It's pathetic.
It's just dumb, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, even if we finish 6th to 8th next season, that's not. We're not one season wonders. You've got to give it 4 or 5 years before you can say that kind of thing.
Yeah,
there is a high possibility we're not going to get top 4 again. Like, we've got to play many more games. It's going to
Chelsea
be really
are going to improve. Man United, Liverpool will improve. I mean, there's an awful lot of good. It's not like this won't be like any other league abroad where you see 2 teams running away with it this time. I think Man City, obviously, they'll always be favourites to win a league. But I think this season coming up, given that the signings that have already been made by certain teams, and given that Poch is going in at Chelsea, I think there's going to be a lot of competition at the top of that Premier League next season. And if we can be up and around it, I'll be perfectly happy.
Well, I think we just need to try and get as close as we can to our points tally of last season whilst putting a reasonable showing of ourselves in the Champions League. I think that's got to be the target.
Yep. But listen, by the end of the window, we may have signed a couple of other players and that outlook may be a little bit different to what the one we've got at the moment. Stu says, our owners are class. I love them to bits. Rival fans can cry me a river. Indeed. Brian says he's disappointed that we didn't go for Pulisic for 25 mil. I think it was just Pulisic's injury record that would put Newcastle off, to be honest. Just very good player, Billy.
Yeah. Like you say, though, you can't rely on him to play 20 games a season, can you? If he's done it once or twice in his Chelsea career, I honestly don't know. But yeah, when he's on form and fit, he's a hell of a player.
Yeah. Anthony says, first time chatter. Great work, guys. Love the buds. Thank you very much, Anthony. Welcome to the channel, mate. Patrick says it's taking so long to announce Tonali, itching to see him in a Newcastle shirt. Yeah, look, we are all itching to see him in that Newcastle shirt and Newcastle to confirm the deal. I have a feeling it'll happen within the first 3 days of this coming week. So it's either going to be Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I don't think it'll be any longer than that. A lot of people are saying Wednesday. There has been I'm sure I spotted a photo yesterday on social media of Joel. No,
that was when Joe Linton signed. I know exactly what you're on about.
Yeah, it did look like Tonali, to be honest. It did look like him from the picture, but I don't trust things like that anyway.
Doesn't look like that anymore. That was, I think, when Joe Linton first signed. That was one of his representatives.
Okay, fair enough. All club accounts are made public, says JB. Liverpool needed 100 million Champions League funds from reaching the Champions League final against Madrid to barely break even. Channel Right, good evening to you, and thank you for sticking up for the channel, by the way, on a certain other one. So thank you very much for your support with that one. Cruz says, evening, lads. Wishing all the best. Can't wait to watch the team in a couple of weeks. I've not managed to get tickets for pre-season friendlies. I'm pretty peed off, but listen, the good thing about that is there will be a lot of these pre-season games that are going to be shown on TV, which means the Toon Review will be doing watch-alongs. I am prepared to do the watch-alongs in America, even though they don't kick off till probably 1 a.m. But hey, that's what this channel's all about.
Great.
We will bring the best coverage to you as best we can. So although we won't be there at the ground, we will be there in spirit, and we'll also be doing watch-alongs. So this channel will bring you live commentary of the games that we certainly can. We are putting feelers out all over the world at the moment to make sure that we get all the friendlies in, but we'll just have to wait and see what comes back on that one. Should I read a Stu joke out just because it's Sunday night and everybody needs cheering up because it's the start of another week? Apparently, scientists around the world have discovered the leading cause of dry skin: towels. Wow. I mean, we should get a sound effect for that, just that slow breeze, like when everyone goes silent. Anyway, first player of the night is, there he is, who was mentioned in the Daily News, Jesper Lindstrom. Take it away, Stato.
A funny one. So I've seen him play recently. When I watched the DFB Pokal final where Leipzig beat Frankfurt, he came on as a late substitute. So I've kind of accidentally watched him recently. I have seen a little bit of Frankfurt as well this season. I kind of like Frankfurt. Not a big fan of their ultras. They're a bit mental. Please don't kill me. He's okay. He's a wide forward. He's young. He's 23 years old. A lot of people comparing him to Maxi, although he doesn't quite have the credentials to back that up dribbling wise. Slightly more contributions in front of goal, 7 goals, 2 assists. So I think Maxi got 6 goal contributions last season. So this guy's on 9, so 3 more. From 5.9 XG and 2.8 XAG. Champions League minutes 500 with a goal. Wages are quite reasonable, 31,000 European biscuits. How much is that in real money? It is
28k tonight.
27,000 pounds. So yeah, very reasonable there. 3 years left on his contract, so it would be
we could offer him a bit, well, quite a substantial, decent increase, couldn't we?
Yeah, it was the same with Szoboszlai, to be fair. It's these players, a lot of them in the Bundesliga, it's not too much of an issue. It's when we're signing from rival Premier League clubs or the big boys in Spain that the wages are monstrous. So, yeah, 3 years left on his contract. So it is going to be a reasonable transfer fee. There's been 30 to 40 odd million euros has been banded about in a few places. Obviously, he is Danish. So let's scroll down and have a look at his stats for the season. So this is how he's profiled this year. So you can see touches in the attacking penalty area are decent. Defensive contributions are around average for most, with good with blocks. His shots are nice and high, well above average, and his non-penalty XG. And all of this is tidy. About average for progressive carries and take-ons. Not as tidy with the passing. And we have a new feature on when we do transfer shows. So thanks to Kev who sent me this, a new plugin, a little extension, so we can see a fun graphic of everything as well. So you can see this is kind of the dribbly take on stuff, and then you've got your sort of end products, your shots, assists, expected assists, your goals, all of that, your XG, and then you've got your defensive statistics in the red here. So we can kind of see how he's shaping up. We can have a look at who he profiles like. So on here, you've got Harvey Barnes and Jared Bowen are both on this list. We've been linked with both in the past. So, this would it makes it more plausible in my head that this guy's on a list somewhere. The fact that, he's profiling similarly to other players we've also potentially looked at. You've got Somerville and Gray on here who aren't bad players either. So it's definitely a plausible one. Career to date, he's basically come straight out of Denmark to Frankfurt and got 2 seasons here with 26 starts in his first season and 22 in his second season. So 9 goal contributions and 9 goal contributions. So kind of similar to Maxi. Maxi got, I think, 10 in the season before last and only 6 this one because he was a little bit more injured. So kind of similar output to Maxi. Not quite as dribbly, but he's 3 years younger. So there's the potential for improvements there. I did have a look and pulled his scouting report for the previous season, so 21-22 season. So this is his scouting report from the season before, and I feel like it's worth having a look at this. And the reason being is this season's been a tough one for him. He's struggled for form since March. He's, there's Champions League. He's been involved in lots of finals in really tricky games. They drew Napoli in the Champions League, who were a bastard to play against. He's had a real tough few months, and I think it's reflected on his statistics quite negatively. He is only young, and I don't think he's too bad. He's also been subbed on quite a lot late in games, which I think has done his stats in somewhat. Coming on with 20 minutes to go when you're trailing and you're told to go and do something, your stats aren't always going to reflect how you would generally play if you were going to start the game. It's going to be a lot more erratic. You're going to try a lot more things. Whereas I think this kind of shows you that he can produce something different. You can see his defensive statistics are a bit better here, and his progressive carries are a lot better. Shot creating actions are up. So this was the season before last. So he's got it in his locker. He's done it in the Bundesliga for the same club. Because I think it's worth pointing this out, because somebody, when we were in the watch along, said that he's checked him on SofaScore and he wasn't good recently. He's struggled a little bit recently, but you've got to remember the back end of seasons is when everybody plays all their finals and all their tougher games. And Frankfurt they're not the biggest squad on the planet. So if we go and have a look at the SofaScore stuff, this is what I mean. So it's a lot of sixes. Mm-hmm. In his defense, he's not been starting every game, and they've had real tough games. He's had the DFB Pokal final straight into that. And then if we go back and have a look at the Champions League games as well, you've got lots of Leipzig games in there. You've got Napoli in the Champions League. You've got Bayern there to play against. And then you can see, sort of go back to February and before, he's looking a little bit better, getting more involved with the goals and assists. So if we scroll and have a look at some recent games. So this was him in the final. He didn't start. So they were going with Mario Götze, Kamada and Moani up front. And occasionally Kamada was dropping into midfield. So he was coming on sort of late in games. So there he is, Lindstrom. So he's come on and he was told, look, it's a final. Go and help us try and get back in this game. Oh, it's decided to refresh it. SofaScore, what are you doing?
Cal's just made a point there, Alex, that he thinks this guy's Miggy, but he's got a right foot.
Well, potentially. Yeah, potentially. I mean, his stats in the last 3 months don't make for good reading. He fails a lot of dribbles. He's losing out physically. He's had a poor 2 or 3 months, in my opinion. It's much of a muchness in these games. He's not getting a run of starts. He's playing across different positions. It is a bit difficult for him. He's not been given the right run to develop. If you go back and have a look at some games where he's done a little bit better, so 3-0 against Hertha Berlin, he's got an assist in this game. So he's actually started this one for a change. So you got Kamada's been dropped back into midfield, so he's gone with Mario Götze behind Moani up front. And he looks a lot more lively on the heat map, potentially been involved in some set pieces as well. Got a dribble, a couple of key passes. Again, physically not quite there. He looks good on highlight reels. I mean, don't get me wrong. If you go and watch him on YouTube, he looks great. Some of his finishes are really tidy. There's a few chips in there. He's got a reasonable technical level. I'm just not 100% sure that this guy is going to improve us. The thing being, he's 23, so he could improve. There's good stats.
Have you got his injury record there, Alex?
I haven't. I've just got. So this is what Kev produced from Stats Bomb. So this is him against Maxi, and you can see here. So Lindstrom's in the red, Max is in the blue. So he's got a little bit more in terms of pressure regains, XG per shot, XG in shots. So a little bit more in that regard. However, we know that Maxi's not going to have the highest XG in shots because he's shifted his game considerably more towards passing this season because he's just been told to change his game. Pressure regains are probably the only thing you could say outright that he's better than Maxi at 100%. I mean, arguably, you could say he's better at scoring because he's taken some of his chances. But then down here in the rest of it, Maxi's got him beat on all of the dribbling. And the passing is a lot cleaner from Maxi as well and slightly better on the fouls won. So I don't really think this is an upgrade on our starting wingers. I don't think it's an upgrade on Almiron. I don't think it's an upgrade on Maxi. And the fact he's a young player, is he that young? He's 23 and a bit. I've got to remember how to spell his name now. Jesper Lindstrom. There we go. There he is. We'll have a look at his injury record for you, Paul. So ankle injury, missed 47 days. So there it is. So that's potentially. I mean that's coincided with his poor form. So there's an argument to be made to give him a bit of a pass on that.
Yeah. I've never seen that one before. A cold. I don't think I've ever seen that on the injury thing. That's weird.
A week. Christ.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he's a good player. He's a good winger. I'm a little bit concerned about his physicality, despite his pressure regains being decent. But by all means, go watch him on YouTube and have a look at some highlights. He does look really good on the highlight reels, but again, generally they're going to show you all the good bits. If you go and watch all the good bits of Maxi and Miggy, they're amazing. But we see them week in, week out, and we see the bad moments.
I have to admit, I'm not sold on this guy. I was a little bit doubtful, or I was sort of in the middle, but after going through his stats there, Alex, I don't think he's any sort of upgrade on Maxi, certainly, or Miggy. So whichever side he played on. Billy, what's your views on him?
Better than Gordon, in my opinion.
No.
I know that he's got 7 goals, 2 assists. He has put up some numbers. I get that. Considering he's missed quite a lot of games, you could argue that he could have potentially got double figures in goals. But I just mean the way he plays. I don't know. I'd say the only player he would be better than right now in just overall footballing ability, I'd say he's better than Jacob Murphy.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's it for our wide players. I don't think he's better than any of our starting wide players.
Interesting. Billy, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a bit meh for me, I've got to be honest. You expect your wide forwards would have a much better rate of progressive passes than what he's got. No, he's a no for me. I don't know how much he cost either. I mean, if he's got 3 of his contracts to go,
I think 30 to 40 has been the number.
See, I think there's better players out there for that kind of fee.
Yeah,
absolutely. Current market value on Transfermarkt is 28 million. Well, I don't know if you want to put that back up, Paul, but that's the current rumor on Transfermarkt.
100% probability.
That's an interesting one.
Wow,
transfer. I don't want to see that.
No. Wow. Okay.
It does have 9 caps for Denmark. I forgot to put that on there. So
look, I mean, to be honest, we're sitting here saying that we're building a squad. Any may look at it and think, I mean, we may have scouted this guy. We don't know. He may be something of quality that has been seen in him that has alerted the scouts or alerted Dan Ashworth or whatever it may be. We don't know. If he comes in, he's 23, he can still work well under Eddie. We'll just have to wait. But
he's also a right footer who plays on the right hand side, which we
are crying out for.
It's not
how Eddie plays. Because he likes the inverted wingers, doesn't he? So it's a one to keep an eye on. But I've never seen 100% probability of a transfer before. That's interesting. Carl says it screams of cheap options because we've got hardly any money left. Daniel says if Arsenal and Liverpool fans we do well because of money, they can fuck themselves. Arsenal spent 250 million last summer, and again 500 million. I want to hear no shit on us also. Yeah, well, we're going to get that. It doesn't matter. That's always going to happen. Jacob says, sorry, late to the show in Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, representing the Toon. Nothing like celebrating our independence for you lot by hanging out watching the best show on YouTube. Thank you very much, Jacob. Yeah, very, very close to Independence Day, of course, Tuesday. And it's my daughter Phoebe's birthday as well on the 4th of July. Andrew, good evening to you. Ryan says, not for me. We should go back in for Torres and pay the wages for him. His wages justified for all the titles he's won. Jesper Lindstrom is a no-go for me, says Kieran. Not for me, says Mats. Anders says, Lindstrom don't play wing. He can play central. Interesting.
I mean, you literally just saw how I've showed you how he plays. I mean, he will go out wide, yeah, of course, and he will go central. But it's because Mario Götze's kind of like that as well. Götze's legs have gone a little bit, and he does play a lot more centrally. I mean, he does a bit of both. Yeah.
Adam's worried that he's only £139. Someone needs to give him a sandwich. It's a bit lightweight, isn't it, for the Premier League? £139. I mean,
I wouldn't pay any attention to that. I mean, that's 10 stone. I would imagine he's probably a little bit heavier than that.
How was that when I was bloody born, Alex? Jordan says we will spend more after July the 7th, apparently. That's when the new FFP starts. So we should have an injection of cash then. Don't quote me on that. It's just what I've heard.
I guess you've got to wait for the years to roll over, so it's into the next 3 year.
Yep, absolutely. Right. Next player up is Kudus Mohammed.
Indeed. So you might like this one a little bit more than Lindstrom. Have you heard of him before? Have you seen Kudus?
Yes, Kudus. Yeah.
So there's not really been that many links to him. And then There was a few people 3 or 4 days ago just started tweeting that he's amazing and we should go for him, and then links started appearing. So I don't know whether this is actually whether he's really been linked or not. I feel like people have just willed this into existence by talking about it a lot. I think maybe some publications have just started writing articles on him. However, I can't be certain, so we're gonna review him. I do think he's an incredible player.
Yeah,
this is the sort of profile I would prefer we go for. It reminds me a little bit of sort of like Sulemana is really exciting, but I think Kudus is putting up a lot better numbers than Sulemana was before he went to Southampton. So Mohammed Kudus, I think it's meant to be that way around. But anyway, 22 years old, very nearly 23, is a left-footed forward from Ghana. 17, nearly 1,800 minutes in the Eredivisie this season with 11 goals, 3 assists. So that is a very, very good goal contribution return there from not a lot of minutes. 11.5 XG and 3. So he's bang on the money there. He's not overperforming at all. That is what he's supposed to have. Champions League, he's got 4 goals from 6 appearances. Running a little bit hot on his goals in the Champions League there. Should have only got 1.8, but who cares? And a goal in the Europa League as well. So let's scroll down and have a look at the good stuff. So data. I mean, this guy does kind of what Maxi does, but he also is putting a lot of numbers up goal wise. It is in the Eredivisie, so there's no reason to say that Max can do that in a different league, but still. So successful take-ons. He is in the 99th percentile. I'm pretty sure I read a statistic last week as well that he's got the highest successful take-on rate in Europe of any outfield player. I haven't verified that, but I think he's literally at the... Not only is he at the 99th percentile, he is right at the top of that list, I'm pretty sure. So a 4.57, the man's a beast. Pass completion rate as well is, for somebody who plays like this guy plays, is freakishly high, 85.5%. Is really, really, really nice. So very careful with the ball. His shot volume is incredibly high at 3.46. Work rate, in terms of defensive work rate, he's 47th, so bang average for his tackles, his blocks. Clearances is quite good. He's winning half of his aerial duels, which is not too bad for a winger. How tall is he supposed to be? I mean, that's not bad. 5'9.5". If he's winning, if he's in the 51st percentile for his aerial duels, he's, that's not terrible. So if we go and have a look at the actual graphic, no, we don't care about go away. Sorry, MLS. Another time. So this is the little new graphic you can see of him. So you can see in the yellow there, this is his sort of possession-based statistics, his successful take-ons, touches in the attacking penalty area, his pass completion really, really high. And then you can see in the green, his attacking data is really, really good as well. So, and then his assist stuff is 44th percentile. So he's around average for assists as well, which is great. So the output is definitely there. Who does he profile like? Oh, we've got Javi Simmons on there. Very interesting. Strangely enough, Aaron Ramsey. Oh, no, that's not the Aaron Ramsey. That's a different. That's the young
kid. Yeah. He's in the under 21s. No, yes, he is, isn't he?
What?
That's his brother, Jacob.
No,
it must be his brother.
Yeah, there's a few kicking around.
It's not the Welsh Aaron Ramsey that I made the mistake of.
No.
But we won't talk about that. I'm pretty sure. Who did Trincao play for? He wasn't playing tonight, was he? Maybe. You never know. And then being compared as a forward as well. Oh, that means we can check him as a forward. Shall we check him as a forward? Ooh.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. That's his data if he plays up front.
Bloody hell's fire. Look at that, man.
So, yeah, all the green, apart from clearances and aerial duels, everything, there's nothing worse than the 69th percentile. That's mental. So he's rather good when you look at the data. So let's actually go and have a look at how he plays. Go away, Lindstrom, you're not welcome anymore. So 43 million euro valuation. Let's press that little button. Passing, long balls, ball control. Yes. Let's go on and actually have a look at the good stuff. So,
you can just imagine all the agents around Europe going, how the hell has my player's value dropped? And it's due to Alex pressing the down button all transfer window long.
So I really like this team with Tadic, Bergwijn and Kudus there. Is really, really fun. And obviously Alvarez, who we got linked with a bunch of times last season. So Although it is a little bit concerning that Arsenal are going after Timber. So once they receive some money, they might not need to let anybody else go, which concerns me slightly. But that's neither here nor there. So very, very nice heat map on the right-hand side. Somebody that could potentially play in Miggy's role. Very, very tidy passing accuracy for a winger. He's been involved a lot as well, actually. It's quite a lot of involvement. Tried 2 crosses, completed 3 long balls, 3 shots on target, 1 off, 1 blocked, 9 dribbles, 9 successful dribbles.
He's a dribbly boy.
15 out of 21 ground duels. The volume, the work that this man goes through is absurd. That is mental. 2 big chances missed. He got 4 free kicks for his team and put in 2 tackles. But when he's fighting for the ball, he fights for the ball. That is quite mental, actually. Let's go and have a look at another game against Groningen. So there he is out on the right-hand side. He dropped to 7.6 in this game. Heat map is just what we would want if he's playing in that Miggy role. Again, 89% passing accuracy. Lovely. Got a key pass, got a cross, 3 long balls, created a big chance for his team. Again, with the 5 shots there, 1 on, 2 off, and 2 blocked. 3 successful dribbles in that game, 8 out of 12 ground duels. Another 4 free kicks for his team and was offside once. Just gets through some absolute work. I definitely did see a few games where he put in some out. There you go. So some better form, sort of February, March time. God, that's madness. Some of these statistics. Hang on. There was one I saw earlier where it was absolutely crazy. So this game, 7 successful dribbles, 4 long balls, 11. Yeah, you can see what this guy's about. 3 fouls, if I can read the right number. Just absolutely insane. This guy's going to bring, if there's any truth in any of these links, this essentially just reminds me of Maxi, but a little bit better physically, with a little bit more end product. This guy plays what everybody wants Maxi to play like, in my opinion.
Yeah. He's highly linked with Brighton at the moment. So
yeah, he has been on the list for Brighton. I've heard that as well.
Yeah. Listen, for me, an absolute definite. I mean, like you say, Alex, if the links are real to this guy, then I'd be very happy to see him in a black and white shirt. I think he'd excite everybody. Billy?
He's incredible.
Yeah, I'm sold on him. Yeah, them stats alone, I've not seen anything of him, to be perfectly honest. But God Christ.
Go watch some highlights of him.
Yes, I should definitely have a look at him.
Very good.
He's like Maxi, Billy, he gets the ball, he excites you. You don't know what he's going to do next. But I think he has a better finishing product than Maxi does, to be honest. But that's where...
Well, I mean, there's an argument to be made that he's doing it in the Eredivisie. Could he do it in the Premier League?
That's right.
But still, he's younger, so...
Yeah. Matthew wants to know, he knows what XG is, but what is XAG?
So it's to do with expected assists. So how many assists? It means something specific. It's more than just an XA value. It's because it's got XAG. I don't know what the breakdown exactly is, but it's to do with how many assists you should be getting based on the quality of service you've provided.
Well, Arturo, thank you for your €10. He basically says that the previous one, Jesper Lindstrom, he's got the name of an astronaut. Let's go for Kudus, not for this shite player. Thank you very much. And then he sent in he sent in another €5. I'd just like to know, Arturo, Paul, you are a big what? You haven't finished the sentence, so what am I? So I'm a big what, Arturo? Finish your sentences. So you thought I wouldn't know what that meant, you know what I mean? You see? Anyway. Good player, and we'll see how that one goes. Toon Gamers says, so today we are linked with 18-year-old Sporting Diomande Alex.
I haven't seen that, but I'll have a look.
Billy, were you waving there?
No, scratching my ear.
Oh, okay. Scott says, Billy, is that Victor at Coventry worth a punt for Premier League quality?
Yes, I think so, but I think he's going to Sporting Lisbon.
Is he really? Ooh, interesting.
We've reviewed him on a transfer show before as well.
Yeah. By the way, Ryan Cherky, he's just scored for France.
He's so
one
good.
player I would love to see in the black and white. I mean, we've seen him a couple of times in the Euros when we've done watch-alongs, and he looks the shit. And still at a very, very good age as well. But
I just looked as well, semi-final wise. If we've got Israel, no disrespect to Israel, but I would fully expect us to win that tie. And the final, if we can get to it, looks like it's either going to be France or Spain.
Yeah, it could be quite the classic final. I think we'll get past Israel. Have you seen some of the Israeli names, Billy? I think that would challenge any commentator, to be honest. So I would say we just use numbers for that game. Carlos says a plane crashed into my house last night because the wife left the landing lights on. Wow, honestly, just incredible. Right, okay, final player of the night, Alex. Are we ready?
Not yet.
Brilliant.
I'm getting it ready now. I can't find it.
Eres Grandes equals you are great. Well, no, it says you are big. Grande in Spanish is big. I do know. Or maybe it means two words. I don't know. I do know it means big. So as far as I'm concerned, it's Arturo. You never know what the hell he comes out with, to be honest. Nikolai says, NUFC fan and an Ajax fan here. Kudus is quite versatile. And has a good technique, but he's obsessed with being a number 10, not convinced he fits with Eddie's plans.
I mean, Maxi's been through that phase. So has Miggy as well. So it's fine. If he gets a move to the Premier League with his salary doubled, with the chance to play in the Champions League, well, actually, he probably already does that with Ajax, but I'm sure it's
well, apparently it's got the same meaning, grande in Spanish, big or great. So there you go. If we're going with great, thank you, Arturo. Charlie says, convinced Alex has dyed his hair. I swear it was more grey.
Never.
He does. No, don't lie, Alex. You've admitted on here before that you dye your hair.
Always been this dark.
No.
Don't know what you're talking about. Nonsense.
Billy.
Yeah, that's just cement stuff. Remember the box he had? I remember that.
Yes. Absolutely. You can't kid us anymore. You just have to grow old respectfully, Alex, without putting, because you start using products in your hair, mate, it starts falling out. Trust me, I know.
Not when you're still young, though. Don't grow old when you're still young. Sort that, Alex.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've just realised as well. This new away shirt, we're not going to be able to wear it on shows, are we? Because of the green screen.
No, that's what Billy, you mentioned that the other night, didn't you? It's a very, very difficult. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, it depends what kind of green it is against the green screen, but it won't look good. Arturo says, Paul, it means you were great. Its Spanish is phenomenal as well. Thank you very much, matey. Let's have a look. Peter says, I thought I seen a kangaroo in the back lane last night. As I got closer, turns out it was a greyhound having a shite. Well, honestly, the Sunday jokes are coming in, dear me. I'm not reading any more out. That's enough for tonight. Alex is slowly morphing into post-2015 Russell Crowe.
Ooh. Mudrik's just been taken down in the box, penalty for Ukraine.
Is it really? Wow. Dear me. Darren says, I've just seen the new Away shirt and I've got to say I don't like it.
It'll grow on you.
Yeah. Clarky makes a good point. I think if we all wore the green away top on the show, we'd just be like three bobbleheads presenting the show.
That is true. Maybe we should wear it.
Well, it would certainly give people a laugh. Welcome to the Toon Bobblehead Show. Right, final player of this evening is Maxence Lacroix.
Indeed, Maxence Lacroix. Well done. So, I believe we've reviewed him before, but it was quite a long time ago when we were just looking at young versatile fullbacks. And then obviously we got Botman. But, you know, the need has sort of come around again for us to start looking for an understudy to Fabian Schär or possibly for somebody to challenge for his position. So we're having a look at this guy again. 2 years remaining on his contract. He, salary-wise, is minuscule in footballing terms on, you know, I mean, in real money, it is
1-1, by the way, the football.
1-1.
3,100. I don't know why they bother putting dollars on there. Sorry, Americans. I know.
For the French view, for the American viewers, Alex, don't be all anti-American again.
I just don't see why we put dollars on there. Anyway,
I do apologise, America.
Right-footed centre half, 6'2.5". Again, FB ref with their constant need to put everyone as half an inch. I don't know why nobody seems to be on the inch itself. It's always on a half. However, he's tall. He's tall enough to be
half an inch can make a difference, Alex.
Well, Bundesliga this season, 1,600 minutes with a goal. So more than Botman got last season. 24 appearances. It's not as many as I would expected him to make. So we are going to have to go and have a look at his injury record and see what's gone on there, because I expected him to play a full season. So does what he says on the tin. Clearances, aerial duels are nice and high. Interceptions are high, which, you know, is the sign of a good IQ of a footballer, especially a centre half. If they're intercepting the ball, that's very nice to see. Progressive passes is really high. It's something we do want. Again, if we're going to have somebody come in to play in Fabian Schär's role, we need somebody to be able to ping the ball, whether it's a flat pass, a switch, or a long ball. Fabian Schär's got quite a good foot on him, and has been the result of quite a lot of goals of us last season. So whoever comes in is going to have to provide something in that role, unless we're going to compensate further up the pitch somewhere, which we may be doing with Tonali for Longstaff. So, but hey-ho, it'd still be nice for Schär's understudy to be decent. So progressive carries and take-ons is really, really good for a centre-half as well. Pass completion rate's really, really tidy at about 87%. Attempting 60 passes a game, nice and tidy. Shot creating actions is about average for a centre half, so that's probably when he gets involved on set pieces and corners. He's pinging the ball about a little bit in the box. So really, really tidy data here. You can see here. We don't care about the San Jose Earthquakes. Go away. There we go. So possession statistics is what's the important one here. Can he be a centre half that's confident on the ball? He looks like he is. I'd have to go into a bit more detail to see, you know, if we get linked with him more, we can obviously do a deeper show and check his sort of under pressure statistics and stuff. Let's go and have a look at him in his team then. So strengths, ground drills, ball control, and positioning. That's quite nice to see positioning as a strength. You don't often see that on SofaScore. Let's pop that valuation down. 18.2 on SofaScore. Scroll down and have a little look.
I always laugh when I see thank you for your contribution to devaluing a player.
I know, right? So we've got him playing on the left side. A little bit versatile there. So let's have a look how he did in this game. What was the score? 5-1 against Bochum. So he did rather well in this game. Lots of touches in the box, which is weird. I'm not quite sure why there's such an aggressive heat map there. But this is the kind of role you would expect him to be. He's playing on the left side. Quite a lot of movement on the right side as well. He's got through some defensive work in that game. 5 clearances, 2 block shots, 2 interceptions, and a tackle. Decent in the duels as well. 4 out of 5 ground, 3 out of 7 aerial duels. A couple of free kicks for his team. Gave away 1 foul. Passing accuracy was a little bit off point there, but it was against Bochum. They were probably going for it. They won 5-1. They were probably having a little bit of fun in that game, to be completely honest with you.
Alex, it's Bochum.
Bochum.
It's not Bochum, it's Bochum.
I mean, Bochum if we're speaking English.
Fochum.
Give over, it's Bochum.
It is Bochum.
So Stuttgart game, in this one, they played a slightly different formation and played him on the right-hand side. So we can have a look here. Again, maybe this is, I haven't actually watched these 2 games that I'm referencing. I've seen Wolfsburg play this season, not very often. I think I've seen them once. And I can't really remember Maxence's performance. It looks like he might be taking goal kicks. I don't know what's going on there. If anybody is a Wolfsburg fan in the chat or watches much Bundesliga, does he take goal kicks? I know there are some funny Bundesliga teams who do that.
Maybe.
Perhaps he received a dip. Like, you know, sometimes you see the goalkeeper split the 2 centre halves for short gameplay at the beginning.
Potentially.
But I think your best bet is look at Lacroix's last season's stats, because last season he was on fire.
Yeah.
Team of the season.
I might actually do So 4 out of 6 ground duels, 1 out of 1 area duels, nice tidy passing accuracy, a couple of long balls in there. So it doesn't look like he's quite got the long balls in his locker that Fabian Schär has. However, now Billy's just said that, let's do that. Let's go back and have a look at the scouting report from the previous season. So that would be the 21-22 Bundesliga. Yeah. So this is him in the season before. Slightly better defensive statistics. It looks like, and attacking statistics, but it looks like this season he's kind of improved his passing. So his passing's improved. His take-ons are quite good. It just looks like a very solid centre-half. He's very young. He's still learning at that sort of age. I think he'd be great for us. Let's have a look at the 2 caps for under 20. Let's have a look at injuries because he's not played an awful lot this season. So what's happened? Shoulder injury, 60 days. There it is. 4 games missed. It is what it is. It's shoulder. It happens. At least it's not like an ACL tear or something really bad that could be persistent. Hopefully that won't bother him. General profile. So two caps for the under 20s. So he's not been involved in the senior team yet, but it is quite hard to get. We don't care about Shobbers. Like, go away. He's gone. So 17 million current market value on here. He's got dual citizenship with Guadeloupe as well. Very cool. So he could technically still go and play for them if he never gets capped by France.
I don't think he'll do that somehow.
They mentioned Guadeloupe the other day. Someone mentioned him the other day, didn't they? Guadeloupe.
Yeah.
I can't think of it was.
Lots of sharks just off that coast of Guadeloupe.
So his representation, is there anybody we know? No. I don't recognise anybody on that list. A few people. I know Toussaint from Hertha, but not really.
No.
Not really, so that's not going to help us. But yeah, a versatile young centre-half, right-footed. I think he's rather good. Wouldn't break the bank. Would be competition for Fabian Schär. Although they might put their foot down and try and ask for 35.
Crazy
money.
Yeah.
They know we've come in from the Premier League, so they might try and ask for 35, 40, even though he's probably worth not that. But I think it could be a good shout.
Yeah. Billy?
Yeah, I like him. I like Lacroix. Very quick. I think he's excellent. Really do. I think it'd be a great signing for us. The season before last, he was outstanding for Wolfsburg. He's had injuries this year and stuff, but yeah, it'd be a fantastic signing for us.
You've got to love his name as well, because as somebody pointed out in the chat, that's as French as it comes, by the way.
It is, yeah.
It is. You just want to say it like again and again, don't you?
Yeah.
I want to order a croissant from him so I can say it all in the same sentence.
Say it in French too, Alex. Go on and just ask him in French.
He's not here. If I meet him, I'll say it.
All right. Fair enough. By the way, Alex, when your phone rang earlier, it was your mum, and she apologises.
That's all right.
She did put that in the chat ages ago, but I was going to tell you, but I forgot.
Is she still on holiday, is she? She's still in Menorca?
She is, yeah. She's a 2-week holiday.
Wow.
Nice. Hope you're enjoying it, Jeanette, having a fab time out there. Brian says, I know Alex doesn't like us Americans, but is there anyone on our national team he would want to play for Newcastle?
Rayner's not bad. Balogun's good. I'd take Tyler Adams as backup. Yeah.
There's your answer, Brian. I don't think he doesn't like Americans. I just think he has a... Sorry?
Balogun's English anyway.
Well, he is. But obviously, I think Alex is just a bit disturbed by the way Americans...
Right,
it's
not
more
the
to do with the chanting. It's more to do with the songs.
It's not the people. It's the way you've structured the league and your other sports, and the way football is run over there. Soccer. It's not the fans. The fans are great. Like we've seen with Atlanta, obviously with Darren Eales going and setting that up from scratch. The fan base is amazing. So the fans are great. The people are great. It's just the whole structure. I just don't like it. I don't like the way I tell you, I love American sports. I think baseball is great. I think American football is great, but I just don't like the whole franchise.
Hang on. You've missed out ice hockey, Alex, which is the best sport.
I like ice hockey as well. I've been to see a bunch of games in the UK for ice hockey as well. But I just don't like the whole, if you're a bad team, you get draft picks and you get help and there's no relegation, there's no this. I just don't like it. I don't think it functions well. I don't think it encourages competitiveness. I don't think it's as exciting. And it's not American people's fault. I just like to have a bit of banter and have a bit of a dig about it. That's all it is.
Billy, have you got another shovel you can lend him? I think that one's getting a bit blunt. Kev says, I have to say, Alex, you've got me obsessed with checking FB ref whenever you're linked with a player. Well, if that's the case, Kev, you're going to be on FB ref at 24/7.
Check their Twitter account if Twitter hasn't died yet. Check the FB ref Twitter account, because you can actually download that extension that I've shown you guys with a new graph, so you can see it in a fun chart.
Carl says he didn't order the green top, so he's ordered the goalkeeper one, the blue one. I like that one as well.
Yeah, it's not a bad one.
I may have a look at doing that one.
Do you not think it's a bit close to the actual colour? It's the same similar colour to the actual top, so I'm surprised that the league
dark green and light blue.
There's potential if it's a clash. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Are you
I think you might be colourblind, Billy. I think.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I think
I'm
Billy
not saying the same. I'm not saying the same.
Are you struggling with your colours, Bilbo?
I think they're a bit similar. A little bit similar.
It's like your T-shirt versus really dark green.
I don't know.
Yeah, Billy, just check the green grass in the background check the grass in the background of the pitch on your green screen and your shirt colour. I don't think there's any hint of a clash there, my man.
I don't know. I think they could have picked a better colour for. I like the colour, the blue colour is my favourite colour, but with the green kit, I'm not sure.
You might struggle then if we've got you playing a charity match for us. We might struggle, but
what I would say is Billy will be going for an eye test tomorrow.
People feel like you're definitely struggling.
Oh dear me! We need to check Mavropanos from Stuttgart. His stats are he's a good player, but he's never been linked, so we'll not be looking at him at the moment. Jason says, "I love Cher, but his lack of pace could be worrying, especially if it changed the offside rule."
That's a fair point.
Maybe.
I don't think they're changing the offside rule for next season. I think they're going to test it. It's going to be a while.
Yeah, definitely. There's the Discord server link again, guys. You want to quickly write that down? Unfortunately, I don't have it in the description because sometimes I put it in the description. It doesn't bloody work.
Yeah, scroll back up and join the Discord. When I get some spare time, I'm going to sort my Discord out as well. I know I keep saying that.
Well, he's been saying that now for since how long? I think February.
I missed the Flamengo game last night as well. I'm gutted. Well, this morning.
Yeah, it was on very late.
Ukraine scored again.
Wow. So the French could be going out.
2-1, but it's nearly half time. Sudakov with 2. That's his second one.
Wow. Tom says, is ice hockey not Canadian? Technically, yes. Both.
Oh, he wasn't fit yet. He's recovering. Mateus Franca's recovering from a little niggle, and he didn't play. So it's probably a good thing I didn't stay up. Although Flamengo won 2-0. I'm sorry. Hang on a minute. There is a reason for this. Right, you can continue, but I do need to show you something. I need to show everybody something. This is amazing.
Andy says the NHL draft day was Wednesday, just gone. Yes, it was. Free agency day was yesterday. It was, because I've seen who the Rangers brought in. Nothing really exciting. You're a Blackhawks fan. Well, you'll be happy because you got Connor Bedard. Or is it Bedard? Fabulous youngster, and will kill it for Chicago next season. Anyway, it's a shame Cher's getting older. If only he could turn back time. Oh, Tom. If I'd known what that said. See, I don't even look what Tom says. I just put Alex, right. Me and you were going to have a falling out over this.
I don't know how to not do that. I need to learn off camera. Sorry,
guys. Normally with Tom's, I don't even check what Tom puts because obviously he's a mod and he's very astute. And then he puts that up.
Can I just show you this Flamengo game?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, Mateus Franca's injured. But have you seen who's in the midfield for the team that they played against? Fortaleza.
Pikachu?
They have Pikachu in midfield.
Oh dear.
So yeah, no Mateus Franca because he's still recovering from an injury. Gabigol scored, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on Flamengo when he's fit again. But I just saw that they've got Pikachu in midfield for Fortaleza. That's hilarious.
When you look at Gabigol, he always looks like he wants to kill somebody, doesn't he? He's just got that look about him.
Angry.
Very angry. Anyway, there you go, guys. That is the transfer show wrapped up for another evening. We are now going to go behind the scenes and work out our shows for the next week. So if you get pinged on notifications quite a few times over the next 24, 48 hours, you will know why. Because it is us scheduling shows. So you know exactly what time they're kicking off, what time everything's happening during the week. So it's you can plan your week ahead of watching the Toon review. But if you have enjoyed today, guys, as usual, hit that thumbs up. It is very important to the channel that we keep those likes coming in. And also, if you're new and like what you see, please do what hundreds of people have done lately, is hit that subscribe button. Completely free to do so. Be part of this amazing community. And of course, the notification bell, which will let you know when we go live or upload any future videos. You can become a member, as I said earlier on. Hit that join button just underneath us for a small fee each month to support the channel. It also puts you in with a chance of winning on our member prize draws. And also, you can catch us up on all the social media, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. We're all on there. We're all on Twitter and stuff like that, so you can interact with us anytime. Thank you very much to the mods. Fantastic work again. Thank you to Billy and Alex for their double shift today. And, of course, thank you to you guys out there. As usual, it wouldn't be the channel it was without you special people viewing us. So thank you very much. And we will let you know on shows coming up this week. Keep your notifications on. Keep an eye on the channel. All daily news and stuff like that will take place as well. And we will see you very soon. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening, guys. Good night for now.
How are the lads and lasses?
That's not what I was meant to put on. Good night, guys.
Come back and check on some breeze.